That's better. Okay. Just Paul with you. It is 1 minute past 11, and the white noise there was at the end of Radiohead and Karma Police. Before that, David Stevenson, formerly of B-Town, as he called it, Brookings, and Fukushima Baby. George Harrison in there, R.E.M., Tom Waits, the Marquez, Mumford & Sons, all kinds of things happening this last hour. But time now for Sarah Caron, Executive Director from the Crescent City Del Norte Chamber of Commerce, coming in and sitting down. Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
What a morning it's been. And you've come in. We were going to talk about, initially, I think we were going to talk about business, a chamber business or something, but you brought something, a little change up here this morning. You brought the Discover Del Norte Guide. What is up with this?
So this is our publication that the Chamber of Commerce publishes contributing with the triplicate. Mm-hmm. They sell the ads, they help put it together, and then they have it shipped out for printing. So it definitely is a combined effort. But this is a chamber directory. It's a Crescent City, Del Norte County Recreation Planner and Directory. It's a guide to our entire community.
So it's just like a welcome. Somebody coming to Del Norte County, I wonder what's happening here, and you've got all kinds of things, attractions and businesses and stuff.
Absolutely. So it's catered for not only visitors, but locals as well. So we distribute this publication in all of our relocation and visitor guides that we get through our website, and people calling that still want to get that tangible in-hand guide. It's also available online, so that's really exciting for us as well. So
where can you find that online? Or can you not find that?
Well, I was just going to say, I just tried the link and it wasn't working, so I'm not going to.
Okay.
But in theory, it should be online, and our new one absolutely will. So we're getting ready to revamp this. Last year, I completely redesigned this book.
Okay, this was the first one you completely redesigned, because you brought in a 2018.
So this is 2018's. My first task as executive director was to approve the already designed 2018 planner. And I was given the completed work, just sign this off and we're done. And it's
an easy first day, right?
Easy first day. And I looked at it and it looked exactly the same as it did 13 years ago when I was interim executive director.
Oh, wow.
And so I said, I'm really sorry, but I cannot approve this. And I ended up getting special approval to halt the project and completely overhaul the entire directory.
I'm curious, how long did that take?
Probably about 3 months.
Wow. So you set back the production for 3 months to redo?
So typically these guides were unveiled at our annual dinner in January. And to me, it made more sense to, at least last year, and now it makes more logistic sense anyway, if we're, instead of unveiling it at the annual dinner, to unveil it at the Economic Summit.
Why? Do you reach more people at the Economic Summit?
Well, it's the Economic Summit is used to excite our community. And so if we're putting out a publication that has all of the things that highlights our entire community, it really kind of gets people, oh yeah, I've never been on this trail, or oh wow, I didn't know this, and what's this business? And there's lots of different things that even people who have looked through the guide several times will still find new things. It's kind of like, when you watch your favorite movie and you've seen it 15 times, but the 16th time you found something new. It's definitely packed full of information.
So what changes did you make? What did you add that wasn't here before?
So what has happened in 13 years, a lot has happened in especially print publication. And the difference is we've become very visual in how we perceive things. We want to look at an ad and have the picture do the most of the work, and have the words give us the information for further, if we need to get further information from it. So the previous publication had a lot of verbiage,
really
very
wordy,
small pictures.
Like the website?
Very much so.
Okay.
Yeah, but maybe more. So it had some really great information, but it was just kind of, just needed updating. So what I did was I worked with Gail Steelman with the Triplicate, and she worked on this project right before she retired, and she did such a wonderful job on this project. And we sat down and said, okay, what do we want to showcase here? What are we really trying to show what's our elevator spiel for Del Norte County? What do we want to highlight? If a visitor has 30 seconds to look through a book, what's going to catch their eye? Well, we decided there's a lot of information here and a lot of things to highlight. So we broke it up into categories of showcasing our redwoods. The redwoods are the number one reason why people come here. That's why they were on the cover last year. People visit Del Norte County because they want to come visit Redwood National and State Park and see the trees. So we had a great section on the redwoods, big pictures, beautiful quality pictures, and then links to everything. Instead of putting all of the information there, most people have access to the internet and utilize looking up the further information online. So we put big pictures, a little blurb, and a link to get further information.
The layout is first off, it's beautiful, it's breathtaking, and very modern. The way you've got pictures coming through. It looks like a website almost. The way a good website looks now. It's just not paragraph and paragraph and paragraph. And yeah, if you're highlighting Del Norte County, you got to see it
visually.
Exactly.
Right. So we highlighted our rivers. Not only do we have the Smith River, it's the cleanest river in the continental U.S., but we also have the Klamath River, and the Klamath has such incredible attributes as well, the wildlife and the fishing and the culture.
And yeah, it's a rich cultural history too. Yeah.
Absolutely. So oceans and beaches and different ways to access them. Of course, trying to focus on outdoor recreation with surfing and skimboarding and boogie boarding and all the different recreations. And then the final thing we did, or in that section, was we broke it down to our communities. We want to highlight all of our communities because Del Norte County is not just about Crescent City. Our Visitors Bureau is the Crescent City Del Norte Chamber of Commerce.
And there's a lot more going on here than just Crescent City. And so the pages, the first off, it starts with the lighthouses, the redwoods, so you've got the attractions, the ocean and beaches, and then you go into specific communities. That's wonderful.
And there's so much to do in each community. We featured Klamath. You could spend 3 days in Klamath with all of the attractions and history and beauty and awesome businesses that they have in Klamath. Same with Hyuchi and Gasky. There's so much to do with the recreation and hiking and
these photos are beautiful too. And we've got the Sky Trail, at least looking at the Klamath page, the Requa Inn, the Sky Trail at the Trees of Mystery, a charming kid with the golden bear. That makes me want to go to Klamath right now. That's really cool. Excellent. Now, who took these pictures? Just as an aside, they're kind of from all over. I saw Rick Heiser's name, Amy Bolander, and then there's triplicate stuff. I imagine Brian Anderson's photos are in here too.
Bri took a lot of these photos. He is an incredible photographer in our community, and I'm just so glad to have him as a resource. So it was a lot of triplicate file photos. We went through so many different photos because that was kind of what really needed to capture everyone in this publication. So getting the proper photos was really important. So we put a lot of effort into really showcasing from an artistic marketing type of photo.
I do have a question too. This had to have been, I think I'm remembering it right, and I think and this had to have been conscious. These little things here. There's a lot in the layout that reminds me of spotlights. Is that on purpose? You remember the magazine that you found in it's kids magazine in doctors' offices and
Absolutely.
things?
The one that you were always bummed that the puzzles were done when you went to the dentist.
Exactly. It's similar to that. It reminds me of that. It kind of makes me
funny.
Smile.
I think the font specifically on that one this year, the font is going to be a little different. This book was such an incredible improvement over what had previously been out there. And like I said, it was a matter of, there's so much to do with this position and getting a book that it's, there's so many times people get in the position of, this is how it's been done, this is how we're going to do it, and let's just print it again and update a few things. And it's easy to do that because it's a big project in itself. Just doing that sort of updating, to overhaul it completely was definitely a big project to take on. But this year we're really excited because we're improving it even more and adding things that haven't been in there.
Okay, so before we get to this, before we get to what's happening this year, I just want let's finish the tour through this. We've got the community pages, and then you get into the community specific pages: Smith River and Klamath and Hyuchi and Gasky and Crescent City, and no Fort Dick.
I'm not supposed to talk about it yet.
Okay, all right, okay, very good. Okay, see, that was my fault. I was not asking the right questions here. But then after that, you've got community contacts. You've got all sorts of resources here. Wow, from the Housing Authority, Department of Fish and Game, building inspection, anything you could possibly need to get a hold of, anybody here in an official capacity, right down to the power company and the water.
And that page was specifically intended for people who are utilizing this as a local, but also people who are relocating here. It's great to have that all in one place.
Oh, wow. And then you've got, you highlight education, so schools that are here. Yes, exactly. Wow, that's really... And then, Mountain Outlet, there's a spotlight feature. So this is really cool. And then we've got the new airport, transportation, exciting events. I guess this would be the full year, right?
Correct.
Okay, so this looks great. This looks really, really cool. I like this. It's slick. It's got the map. This is good for locals. It's got a little thing in the back about history, which is really, I just love that. I want to read that. So why change any of this? And if you do change any of this or have changed any of this for the 2019 edition, what changes have you made and why?
So that's a good question. I mean, it is a great publication now, but what I've noticed a lot is when our visitors are coming in the visitor center, they were walking out with bundles of information, brochures,
all the rack cards,
not just specific rack cards that they're of businesses, but more of, oh, well, here's this map here and this different information here and this park, it was on our end, we were handing out many, and I saw them just kind of juggling as they were leaving the visitor center. So what I've been trying to do is to help create the guide to be something that is all of the frequently asked questions when visitors come into the visitor center. So
that's a good place to start. That's smart. Yeah.
That's what we're going with. And one of the major things that we're adding this year are guides. We're doing a dining guide, a lodging guide, and a camping and RV guide. And that is one of the toughest questions that visitors ask when they come into our visitor center is, where should I stay? Now, initially, you always want to just say, well, I stay here because it's my favorite, period. Well, that's not our job as the Chamber of Commerce and Visitor Center. Our job is to give the information about all of the different places. And what our goal is to tell them, let's say someone comes in and asks about, great example, fish and chips.
Yep.
I'm in a coastal town.
Where can I get
Where
seafood?
do I get some seafood? So, most of our restaurants in our community serve some sort of seafood. So what we try to focus on is, narrow it down. First of all, always narrow it down because they come in with very broad questions. So narrowing down to, okay, well, what kind of seafood are you looking for? And then just having a catalog of knowing that, oh, wow, Crescent Seafood, they have killer, their fish tacos are amazing there. Oh, Good Harvest, wow, you've got to try their fish and chips. The cod is amazing. And just knowing a little bit of what each of the seafood, chart room, you've got to try their chowder. Just mentioning the different restaurants and what they specialize in that entices people a little bit more. If you give them a few ideas, it'll also maybe help spark that, oh gosh, I haven't had calamari for years. Maybe I'll go check out Seaquake. There's definitely an art to referring to different businesses, and it's tough because we have several businesses that have the same amount of same styles of food, let's say seafood, But a visitor, it's not going to do them any kind of justice or customer service when you list 15 restaurants.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
not going to, they want to know where do you go for fish and chips? And that's, like I said, that stuff. So what we're doing is we're creating a guide. And that's going to be for, like I said, the dining options. People can come in and ask the same thing about lodging. So we're going to have a lodging guide and then a camping and RV guide. So those are three of our frequently asked questions in our visitor center. And when people are looking to come here, they'll be able to carry this guide around with them and, all day long for activities, for food, for lodging, for all of it.
Now, inclusion in this book as a business, or even being a business that is, touted at the visitor center, is that limited to chamber members?
Absolutely.
That makes sense.
So this is a chamber guide. In the back of it, we have an alphabetical and a categorical listing, and it is all chamber members. And that's one very enticing thing for becoming a chamber member is, we can come up with a ton of reasons why it's great to be a chamber member. But one of the best reasons is when we have those 300 people a day in the summertime coming into the visitor center, we're only allowed to refer people that are chamber members. Yeah. So the hotels, the restaurants, the art galleries, all of the different establishments, that's when people are asking, we're only allowed to give out the information for chamber members.
And if you do the math and you think, okay, so for a regular business, it's $100 a year to be in the chamber. That pays for itself that one summer day when your business is brought up to a couple of hundred different people who come into the visitor center, just an advertising cost that you don't have to do yourself now. You've got an organization doing it for you. That's amazing.
Exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah. In addition to the guide, people can, in the visitor center, you can bring in business cards, rack cards, brochures, and that's focused in the visitor center.
I know Mary Wilson is very into rack cards. She's a rack card devotee.
Absolutely.
And I did a lot of the pictures for him. So even now, like in Bandon, I'll walk in there and there's my daughter from 15 years ago on a rack card. I'm like, oh, that's sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely see Ocean World up and down the coast for sure. And over in the valley as well. Yeah. They do really well with their advertising.
Do you have, this is another math question, sorry.
Uh-oh.
Do you have any idea, percentage-wise, businesses in the county that are chamber mixers members as opposed to businesses that aren't?
I don't know the total number of businesses in our community. I'll find that out and get that information because I think that would be something great for me to know.
But there's still people out there who aren't chamber members that you go and knock on the door, right?
We're getting close to about 400 chamber members in our community, and that's really pretty great numbers for our size of our community. And our membership is increasing greatly. We have an incredible program called the Ambassador Program, and that's led by Cassie Marks, and she is with Elk Valley Casino.
Yeah, I know Cassie. I think I did senior pictures and her wedding pictures. So yes.
She is an incredible board member for us. She's our vice president, and she last year, herself and Tiffany Brown of Fisherman's Restaurant took over our Ambassador Program and completely revitalized it.
And what's the Ambassador Program entail?
So the Ambassador Program, there's an application process. People can apply to become an ambassador for the Chamber of Commerce, meaning you go to our chamber mixers, you go out in the community. They've been getting more and more involved. They've been going and thanking our chamber members for being members. Last spring, they took little pots of soil and seeds and brought them to our chamber members and said, thanks, we hope to see your business grow.
That's wonderful.
And, different things on chamber member recruitment, retention, and I really feel like our membership has grown because of this program as well. So many things have grown because of this program, and they've been helping go out and solicit sponsorship, and it's been an incredible tool for the Chamber of Commerce. And Cassie is just doing an outstanding job.
That kind of active engagement, especially for people that you've already actively engaged in, and that just makes them feel valued. That's really, really cool. That's a good thing.
It makes you feel like you're a part of the community and you can do something. You know, a big part of what the Chamber does is we do a lot of community events and different things for the community. And a lot of people, you know, want to get out there and do something but may not know exactly how to do that. And we always have opportunities for volunteers and for different kinds of donations throughout the year.
That's nice. So you're adding the camping and the RVs. So other changes in the new
Absolutely.
The 2019 guide?
So we're adding a few hiking trails, commonly recommended hiking trails.
That's your thing, or one of your things, isn't it?
Well, for me personally, oh, of course.
Did you champion that maybe a little?
Well, of course, absolutely. But it's also what people are coming in and asking for. So right across the street from us is the Redwood National and State Park headquarters. So if someone is asking very specific information about trails, we send them across the street and give them the information. But to have the best type of customer service, we also want to be able to be informed and educated about the trails in the community. So we chose 4 different trails in the community that we're going to highlight this year of different levels, and we're going to give the information, and it's all from the triplicate guide from the hiking guide that they put out a few years ago. So all of the information is in there for that, and then we're also going to have information on dog-friendly trails. That's a big question around here because they're mostly protected. So we need to know where we can send people.
Where can you send? I know you can. Cadre Point with a leash. You've state beaches with a leash, right? But are there
anything that's a road? That's a kind of a general rule of thumb. Walker Road on the actual road of Howland Hill up through Stout Grove, but obviously
not on the trails.
Not on the trails. But there are a handful of them. But it's good for us to know because we don't want our visitors to come here and have a bad experience because we referred them someplace that they're going to get a ticket for having their critter off leash.
A picnic at Pitbull Golf.
Right.
Pitbull Gulch. No. Actually, that one time I did have a dog off the leash, and I ran into I was on a trail someplace, breaking the law, dog off the leash because I go run with my dog back then, and ran into a South Asian family, an Indian family, and they were not good with the dog off the leash. It terrified them. I felt so bad. I later found out it's a cultural thing. Dogs are just not as accepted in India as they are, every player here. And so to have a chocolate lab come down the trail, it was really, I felt like I ruined their day, and I felt really bad about that. So be conscientious out there, folks.
Well, it's true. And, you never know if someone had some sort of trauma with a dog or, and you never know how your dog's going to react because I had an incident with a dog that it was actually a roommate's dog that had never bit anyone, a perfect, most wonderful angel dog ever. And it attacked my face one night. And so I get it where people can have a thing. If I'm trail running down a trail and see a dog running at me, it might be a little scary.
It can be.
Not to mention I'm going to immediately think it's a cougar.
Yeah, that's right. Get out the nature guidebook. Is that, let's see.
What do I do? Right. Get big. So in addition to that, one really exciting thing, just like you said, what are my things? What makes my toes tingle? Legal mountain biking trails.
There you go.
So that's something that we've never had in any information in. And once again, we're going to borrow that from the guide that came out with Redwood Rides, and the triplicate partnered with making this biking guide a couple years ago, and it's been a great resource for our visitors. So just highlighting a few of those trails in there as well. We're also adding activities because we have horseback riding in our community. What do visitors want to do when they come here? Horseback riding, kayaking, rafting, biking. We also are adding a section on the California Coastal Trail.
Oh, yeah, that's a big deal.
It is a big deal, and it's not very known in our community. And it's something that
goes right through our community.
Right through our community, and it's very, very special. And so that's why we're adding it not only for our visitors, but for the locals, so that you can fully understand how impactful this trail is in our community. We're adding a couple different walks in our community that you can go on. The mural walk, the tsunami walk, because people are interested in learning about the history of the tsunami, and information out there. If it's something you're into, here's a guide, here's a map.
And the signage is really cool and
the signage
very
is great. The
informative.
wayfinding, the city did a great job with the wayfinding with that project. In addition to that, we're also going to have a section on Rakuzen Takeda. And
cool.
so we're really, and the Sister City project, because, some people may not know about it locally, but our visitors they're not going to know that this is something very special that our community has. Of course, we're going to have lighthouse information. This year, something new we're adding is the tide schedule.
Oh, wow. Oh, cool.
So instead of trying to print out, because when visitors come to the visitor center, they don't realize that it's an island and that they need to only access it at low tide. So we have historically printed out copies of the tide pool or of the tide schedule, so that people can plan their day around it. But now we're going to actually print it inside the guidebook. So that'll
smart.
Be really nice to have that.
For the whole year?
For the whole year.
Wow, right on.
Yep.
That's handy.
The other thing is that we're added this year. People ask us all the time, what about a scenic drive in the community? We're adding Pebble Beach Drive, the Lake Earl Drive through the agricultural section, and Stout Grove. Probably add in there one more scenic drive near South Fork and up into French Hill area.
Oh, wow.
Because that's a really untapped portion of our community.
So you mean
that's so special.
You actually send people down South Fork and then back around up over so that they come out in Gasky.
Yep.
and ooh, I've done that drive and it's a very scenic drive and it's beautiful. But yeah, wow,
it's a long one.
It is a long. You got to be prepared.
For that. People definitely come in and ask for different adventures, and they say, okay, yeah, this is great, but I came here for a spiritual experience. Where can I go be alone in the woods?
Wow. Okay.
And so we're offering all different levels through here. Last year we had a map of the movies, but this year we're putting in an even more expanded, more information, a full page dedicating to our map of the movies, because especially with Bird Box being here, the Humboldt Del Norte Film Commission is just doing an incredible job with promoting our community, getting the word out there. And after Bird Box, it is bringing so much tourism to our community. I just got an email this morning from visitcalifornia.com, which is
nice.
huge...
That is huge. That's the show. That's the game, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they said, hey, we have so many people hitting us up about this area for Bird Box.
Nice.
Who can you refer for rafting? Who can you refer for kayaking? What is up here, and where can we send these people?
Engaging as a community interested in tourism dollars, engaging Visit California is a big, big deal.
Very huge.
Yeah. Or being engaged by Visit California. That's wonderful.
Even being on their radar whatsoever is huge.
Yeah.
And in the last year, I've been working with them more. It's the one ad we've actually put out there for our Visitors Bureau is to Visit California, because it's a big one.
Yeah.
And we're so excited to have this contact. And so I've said, what can we do? What do we need?
That's a big, big deal.
So, and actually one really exciting thing that is happening, and I just kind of got word on it, is we're actually going to be having, you heard it here first, folks.
Okay.
A screening of Bird Box at Crescent Cinemas.
When?
So we're looking at March 30th.
Wow.
So I'm a board member with the Humboldt Del Norte Film Commission as well, and we had been trying to get a hold of Netflix, and they were really difficult about having one of these premieres. So
wow. Okay.
I think it was just a logistical issue, and we finally got through to the right person.
Okay.
The film commissioner actually had to put a lot of effort.
Cassandra leaning on people,
had
right?
to put a ton of effort into it, and we finally got approval. Looks like we're going to be doing something along the lines of a screening and then an after party looking like Seaquake. So,
oh wow! Will anybody from the production be around for that?
I don't know.
I mean, I know you're not going to get a picture with John Malkovich.
Yeah, I might have a cardboard cutout of him. He might be my hot date. So.
Everybody with blindfolds on. I can't see the movie.
Right, which is really fun that we did that at our annual dinner. It's a fun play on the movie, and it has been such an economic boost for our community. We really want to celebrate this. And
that's amazing.
I know it came out a couple months ago, but I really think that people are so excited about this movie, and to experience it in the theater will be a whole different experience as well.
And an experience that really not very many people at all will get to have from this Netflix production. That's really, really cool. Just that in itself, I'd like to see the movie on the big screen. That's cool.
I agree. I think it's going to be a really fun event.
Okay, all right. We have to work toward it. I've got Ted and Kira waiting in the porch out there to come in and talk. So other changes that you want to get in?
So the other thing we're adding is we're going to have a big spread on the terminal. Last year we had a little blurb. This is coming. We're going to have a big page on what's actually there now. And then the new thing we're adding this year is agriculture section. We have so much agritourism in our community that's really an understated thing, where we, of course, we're the lily capital of the world. We have Alexander Dairy, which is doing amazing things. And of course, Rumiano cheese, which we're featuring this year, the 100th anniversary of Rumiano cheese.
Oh my gosh.
So this is huge for our community to have a business that's been going for 100 years.
That's amazing.
Strong, internationally known, and just a wonderful,
doing
wonderful
it right too.
thing.
I like that. They just did good business. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, okay, so this is out. When will it's going to premiere at the Economic Summit, which is when in March again? When's that?
March 15th.
March 15th.
And the tickets go on sale for that next week. We will be hitting the pavement hard with this publication after the summit. So look for it in the end of March, beginning of April, starting to show up in the hotels, the restaurants, the attractions. All of Chamber members get one copy of it as well, get hand delivered. And it's this year is really just going to blow it out of the water.
That's amazing. And this is something that locals will get a lot out of too. This is, if you see this, pick it up and check it out. That's really, really cool. It's not just for businesses or people coming, tourists coming through or people who just moved here. There's a lot of information in there.
Absolutely. It's a guide to our community.
Excellent job, Sarah. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay.
Have a wonderful weekend. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for coming in and doing this. We'll see you next Friday.
You got it.
All right, cool. Sarah Caron from the Crescent City Del Norte Chamber of Commerce, touting the new, which is not out but will be within a month or so, Discover Del Norte. Which is amazing. That's really, really cool. And I'm looking forward to seeing, because also the website premieres that same day, right?
Yes, that's something we're so excited about.
And we should be. That's awesome. Sarah, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.